It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Hello, all you Days fans. Happy Sunday and happy Pride, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us here on Dishin Days. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on the Twitter. Also, if you are watching us live and in living color right here on your YouTube channel screen, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dishin Days. Just go ahead and click the subscribe button and also click that bell notification. That way you'll never miss a live upcoming show. Also, if you are listening to us on a podcast station and taking us along on a nice long walk or a hike or on the treadmill or bicycle or whatever exercise equipment that's located in the gym, or if you're stuck in traffic, we're right here for you, giving you a full dish of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And don't forget, y'all, buy our merch. That's right. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, 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 there we go. It's like a mannequin. Make sure you buy our merch, y'all. We have all these wonderful... See, this is why you can't have me pressing the buttons, because I'm gonna press the wrong ones. We have all of these available for you on a t-shirt, towel, mug, notebook, whatever is available on there. Head on over to dishindays.threadless.com and get your Dishin Days merch today. Now I have to finish clicking off all of these buttons. Which is a lot, right? And also, make sure you go visit our lovely friend James Law Jr. over at JLJ Media on his YouTube channel, where he is giving you a full recap of General Hospital and Young and the Restless and some original audio dramas. So make sure you go check him out, JLJ Media, on the YouTubes right now. And shout out to Michael Mattis, who could not be with us today because he is chilling out, maxing, relaxing, and cooling this lovely weekend. So he will be back with us next week. So if you are missing him, send him a prideful message. And that's it.
Yes.
You know what I realized? I was like, this intro didn't work for me. And I realized what I missed. I didn't say where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera Days of Our Lives. And I was just like, what is this intro? What are we doing? Anyway, we're here now. What did you guys think of this week's episodes?
I really liked them, actually. I thought it was a nice continuation of last week. I thought like we're on a roll, we're keeping up with the pace. I think this week was a little slower just because it wasn't so much craziness happening, but it was just as good, I thought.
It wasn't a lot of craziness, but it was a lot of depth. And I really appreciated that.
Depth.
Oh,
depth. I thought you said death. I said, who died? I was like, which show did you watch? I must have missed that.
Death.
I thought this week was interesting. Because I was like, there was a few times where I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. So I thought it was interesting. But guess what? We gonna get into it.
Yep.
It is now time to start
Dishin
Days. We were so close. We were so close. All right, let's kick things off with our first storyline, which is giving us all kinds of part 2 of this lovely movie, Misery 2, featuring Nurse Whitley?
Whitley.
Nurse Whitley, played by Sinclair James. Okay, so here's the thing. I was not expecting Abe to wake up without any memory. Although it kind of makes sense because And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, how could he be near death? Over being hit with a rolling pin. He was hit with a rolling
Yeah,
pin."
why are people still stuck on this? Like someone's head gets bashed in with a rolling pin is a very, very hard blunt instrument. Like
Yeah,
why
and
are people
Abe is a man of a certain age.
yeah. I mean, come on.
But I was not expecting him to wake up with amnesia. What did you guys think when he woke up and was like, "Huh? Who are you?"
I actually kind of I don't know what it was, but something gave me like a hint that he was not going to be the same. So
Mhm.
that when Chanel was there, I actually thought I didn't see the misery plot line, but when he woke up, I thought it was going to be I thought he was going to think Chanel was Lexi for some reason, and he was going to revert
Mm.
back to that Abe who did it, who was years ago with Lexi, and I was like, oh, is that where they're going with this? So I for something told me like he's gonna have amnesia. I was like,
Mhm.
because I also think this is now I think the third time or second this is the second time we've gotten Abe in this state in the past couple years, and then even
Mhm.
before that, a year or two, he was shot before that. So like
Yeah.
I feel like this was a way for them to mix it up a bit as opposed to Abe just waking up and being fine again. So I don't
Mhm.
know, something told me like he's gonna have amnesia, but I thought it was gonna be he's gonna have amnesia, he's gonna think Chanel was Lexi, or he's gonna ask for Lexi, and that was gonna be the weird
Mhm.
plot line.
Yeah.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, I expected him to not be okay in some way. I didn't expect for him to be kidnapped by the crazy cat lady.
Oh my gosh.
I was just like,
You know.
and all I could think of was like, I am so glad I'm a normal cat lady
Well,
because that was just like, no.
Dylan
Run.
Matthews brings up he first says this is beyond stupid. Is the nurse keeping Abe for his money, or is she genuinely concerned for him? Like, what did you guys initially think? Because she seemed very loving and endearing, and
Yeah.
being like, the person who did this to you is still in this hospital. You're not safe. And then she was like, "I'm going to take you to safety," and I'm like,
I kind of felt like they tipped it off a little bit when she was talking with Colin, and she kind of like was all about Abe. I forget the wording she said, like he's the best or he's the most amazing. Something about it made me think like, oh, is she like an Abe
obsessed.
stan? Yeah, like
Yeah,
obsessed.
super fan.
Yeah. So I took it as like I think she's concerned about him, but she's concerned about him within her own mental illness, I'll say.
But
Yeah.
how,
Like she thinks she's doing the right thing, but
but how are all these crazy people working in the hospital?
I mean,
You haven't watched Yellow Jackets, have you?
Uh-uh. I have not.
You will be surprised how well people hide their crazy.
Trust me, I do this show with y'all every week, and I'm always very surprised at how well y'all hide your crazy. But it's interesting how this is going to go because number one, when she went to her apartment, we saw that she is a little cuckoo for cocoa puffs and obsessed with cats.
Yes.
Even though she's allergic, she can't have an actual one. Which I was like, well, that's a great way to
Nice.
cover up
Yeah.
like not being
Not
able to
having
have
sex.
actual cats on set.
Yeah.
But everyone is stuck on seeing all the past due bills.
Mhm.
So now, but then I was also
Oh,
like,
is that what that was? Okay. I thought
Yeah.
yeah,
maybe I thought she was hiding because I must have turned away or something and I saw her grab it. I thought she was hiding it so he didn't see her name on the bill
Well, that could
on
be
the
too.
nail.
that too. But also
But it said past due.
she's behind, and I
Okay, got it.
and I wanted to be like, ma'am, you are a nurse at the hospital. How you can't afford this little tiny apartment?
This is like
What are your hours?
this is the running gag in Salem that everyone has these respectable jobs. No one can afford a place to live. No one can afford anything. The
Oh, so
second
like
they
the real
lose their
world.
job, they're incredibly poor. They lose their job on Friday, and Monday they're poor. They can't pay their rent. They don't have any money. No
Oh,
one
so
has
like the real
savings.
world.
I mean, life
Not
depicts.
that quickly. I mean, yeah.
Can I take y'all back to the moment that Chanel and Paulina realized that Abe was missing.
Mhm.
Anyone else notice how they kept looking around the room as if they were going to find Abe? Like they walked in and Paulina was like, "Where is Abraham?" And I'm like, "Girl, what you looking for?"
Yeah.
if you walked in the room and didn't see him in the bed, he ain't gonna be in the. It's like
It was a bit drawn out. Yeah, it was like someone told them like, we need to fill a minute, 30 seconds of space.
But I feel like Jackie, and this is a part where I like give so much kudos to Jackie, because I feel like the entire time she was on screen this week, she was just drawing out that emotion and that anxiety, and she did it so well.
I'm just like, Lord, can they? You would think that things are a little more smooth sailing for the Carvers, but and Chanel, but like it's like, girl,
Yeah.
here come crazy nurse cat lady.
Oh, too funny. But I'm liking it though. I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't had this storyline in a while. I mean, we've had it different iterations over the years, but I don't think we've had it in a while.
I mean, on the bright side, I guess he technically is safe from Colin, who's on the warpath now. So at least, if nobody can find him, then Colin can't find him.
Well, he's probably safer in the hospital, considering Colin doesn't want to go back there. I mean,
listen,
you took him out of the one place Colin was escaping from. So
Colin said, "You know what? I'm out." Mm-hmm. And I found it so funny that because I feel like I blinked and Colin was gone, and they had like the little young Salem PD guy was just standing there in his little boxers and t-shirt.
Oh God!
But it's so weird because of course I look at him and I go, "Yay him for getting that little role! Good for him."
It was. Yeah.
But then I'm also like, duh, Salem PD. I mean, the only thing y'all got going real good is Jada, and Sloan made sure she pointed that out to Rafe.
Yeah, good for her.
Yes.
Shout out to the person who tweeted the scene between Talia and Jada. Ooh. And Jada being like, "What is wrong with you? Why would you let someone do that?" And they said the only thing they could think of was when I said, "Because she's stigmatized."
Oh God. I was like, wait, where's he going with this?
and then when I watched the scene, I was like, every time Jada was like, "But why, Talia? Why would you let this man do?"
Yeah. You wait for her to say it, Tony.
Jada, your sister, Talia, got a little stigmatized.
And she's also just that dumb.
Well, they really went into it, and I feel like they were kind of touching on some kind of abuse, where it's not physical abuse, but it is a form of being in an abusive relationship.
Yeah. That's emotional abuse through and through.
Yes. So I toned down my stigmatized just for a second to let that happen. But then I whispered in Jada's ear, "She stigmatized."
But no, I thought it was I don't know. I was trying to look online to see if anyone else was looking at it the same way I was. But when Jada said to Talia, they were going back and forth about abuse, and Jada asked Talia, "Does he hit you?" Went to commercial, it came back, and then she said, "Oh no, he's never hit me." And then Jada said something which I thought was really interesting. She said, "You and I both know there's more to abuse than physical." And I was like, "Oh, are we getting?
Yeah.
Are we getting like
a little backstory?"
Yeah, I don't think they would touch Marcus's legacy just because
no.
But I'm like, are we getting like an abusive mom chapter here? Are we getting was it like a little hint of something to come?
Or was it Jada's ex-husband?
Well,
You
she
know, we
said it
haven't
to
heard.
Talia too, so that's why I was
Yeah,
like,
so
maybe it's something that they both shared. So
yeah.
that's why I
Well,
thought.
I mean, but they're sisters. I mean, she could have known if Jada was in an abusive relationship.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so I do think that's a hint of something
yeah,
in their shared past. I agree.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was just like it's just it is that whole conversation was the worst nightmare of any woman who like has gone through the ringer of trying to educate young girls about like like for instance like ugh, I can't even put into words. Like, this is why I'm fumbling and I'm sounding like word vomit right now, because all I could think of was, oh my God, if somebody did that to my girls, do you know the hell on earth that I would bring? And then I would turn around and be exactly like Jada, like, what the hell is this? Like 20 years of conversations that we had.
Yeah.
Because you assume that because you do a great job of educating someone that it's never gonna happen, and then it does.
They're young. Sometimes you can't help who you fall for. Sometimes you can't help being
Don't say it.
dignified.
Oh,
But it was a very good scene
Yeah.
between Jada and between Elia and
Keithra.
Akitra.
Mhm.
I thought it was I thought it was emotional. I thought it was caring. I thought it was really getting into. Oh, that's a good idea, Tyler. A shirt that says "digmatized." Daysmatized.
Right.
But it was, and there was some strong, like, performances from Elia and Akitra,
Yeah.
and I just appreciated that sister moment of just trying to get down to and 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 also just really trying to get to the bottom of like why she did what she did. But I also feel like Talia was like, I know what I was doing was wrong, but I tried to correct it. See, I pushed him out of the way. I did
Yeah.
this. She
Mhm.
tried to justify like trying to correct, the wrongs. But at some point, like when
Yeah.
you was putting the poison in the
Yeah.
biscuit dough, like when was it gonna go too far?
And
Yeah.
that was the whole thing. That was why I couldn't get on board with her just being stigmatized. There's something wrong with this girl's self-esteem, that she went through all of that, and then Jada comes in and tells her she's facing serious trouble, and she thinks that because she pushed him off the roof and because she told the truth, all will be forgiven, or she'll get off with a slap on the wrist.
Mhm.
That's not how this works.
I'm just stuck on the fact that you actually said
I
digmatized.
know. I knew you were gonna. I like
I
that.
never thought I would be sitting in this chair and hear the day that Araceli would say digmatized.
Thanks,
I
everyone.
still
That was our show for today.
Mm.
I still say if we do the merch, then it's gonna have to be an eggplant in place of it.
I mean, listen, if people message enough and tweet enough, I might just put it up, slap it on the t-shirt, digmatized, daysmatized, something. You let me, you guys, you know what? You guys let me know. Here we go. I would like to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you would buy a shirt that said digmatized with the eye as a eggplant emoji.
And maybe we do daysmatized as the PG version.
Yes,
Mhm.
we'll do daysmatized, which is well, now Dylan Matthews has a request. Can Tony say digmatized in
Oh,
the double voice?
come on!
Duh, duh.
She must have been digmatized.
That's not nice, Dylan.
Oh, Dylan, thank you for that. So yeah, oh, Lady Whistleblower, Ms. Leo,
Can I say I was actually so impressed because I don't know why I had the captions on for some reason. I think because I turned them on accidentally, and then I started reading the captions when Leo was on. And I was like, Leo is saying a lot of big words this week, and from someone who says big words, I'm like, that's a lot of big words. And it makes me curious of like, where did Leo go to school?
Well, he's a reporter now.
Yeah.
I know,
So
but
he
he
probably
was always a wordsmith.
Well, he definitely has to be a wordsmith now.
Yeah.
He always had the flair,
I really thought at first he had recognized Colin, who is. I mean, you have to give kudos to. He looked good in a cop's uniform. He do. He really do. He was limping around though, which I was like, yes, you better act, Jasper.
Yeah.
But it totally threw me off when Leo was like, oh, now I know. You're from it was from a bachelor party and a lap dance.
Yes.
Now, I thought for 2 seconds they were going to go the corn route.
Wait.
Porn. They were going to go to porn.
Just say the word, Tony.
I mean, true. I mean, I've been saying
dickmatized. You could say porn.
Yes.
I thought Leo was going to say that, but then he said that, and then it was like one light bulb, then two light bulbs, but then I was like, you better work, Leo. When he was like, oh, I can get an exclusive from you. Yeah, you should be able. And I was like, yes,
that was so smart.
That was very.
I wish they would have continued with that. Actually, I wish they would have. I mean, maybe they will in the future, but I was kind of like, oh, that's a nice, interesting twist. Like,
because that was genuinely. I mean, I think Leo genuinely did want to interview him, but also in the back of his mind, like, let me save my own tushy.
Yeah, this is a way for me to get out of this.
Yeah. He was like, let me do, and then he thought he lost his phone, then he found his phone, then Colin crushed his phone. That poor phone.
At least he got away. I mean, or was let go, essentially. Yeah.
Because I thought for a second that Leo was about to get kidnapped. And I was like, oh, Lord, we don't need anybody else kidnapped.
Colin was like, you're too annoying to me. I can't kidnap you. You're gonna annoy me more than the benefit I get from it.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, and that was pretty much that storyline.
Yeah.
Lots happening there, which I feel like it's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
I know that some people may be like, ugh, what is Ron doing? But I'm like, sometimes you gotta take us through a different journey,
For those people, I say, if you don't like it, don't watch.
Well, no, they need to watch. They need to, y'all need to do that. Y'all at least need to. Y'all need to watch if you can, please. I guess you can fast forward through whatever you don't like, but
that's true. Actually, yeah.
That
button does exist now.
Focus on the other storylines. There's other things going on. Yeah.
I still will never understand or get how people fast forward through certain storylines. Is that just baffles me?
Yeah.
But whatever, teach their own. Anywho, let's keep things moving right along with our next storyline, which is dearie my, we're gonna head on over to the DiMera mansion and the poor man's succession. Okay, so you guys are gonna have to explain to me what Gabby and Stefan's plan was when it comes to, because there was a moment where like everything happened so fast, and I think I might have tuned out for a second, and then I saw Megan and Kristen with like paperwork, and then I saw Megan throw it into the fire and be like, "Got a match." Dum dum boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, They must have just, they're just desperately trying to get them on their side.
Yeah.
Y'all tell me what happened.
So they came in with their Kinko's binders that they made that were
Not the Kinko's binder. I don't even think Kinko's is still in
I
existence.
know, right? I know.
No.
I was like, damn, I'm dating myself. They gave them. It didn't look like a Kinko's one you get.
Oh my
He
goodness.
goes, a quick report I put extra money into. And then I loved it because the cover was just Megan and Kristen in color. It was just pictures of them. And it was like, okay, Rachel clearly had a hand in this. But they basically were like, we want your votes and we want you to be a part of the company too. So they were going to give them some sort of role, but it was vague. And that's what sort of what Megan and Kristen were responding to. They were like, this isn't even something that's clearly defined. Not like you're saying, we're going to make you vice president. We want you on like the executive team. They were just like, we'll give you something in return to do with the company.
No.
It was vague.
No, their mistake was, and Stefan, like, and I'm listening to Stefan actually say this, that, you know, these two women are out of prison for like the millionth time. He's listing their list of crimes.
Yeah.
He's that Megan can bring people back from the dead. He's basically listing their list of like villainous things / accomplishments, and you think that they're going to be content with being your number like 3 and 4? That he went into that conversation like as soon as he even thought that, he was done. He was done for. The smarter move would have been to team up with EJ. He would have had a fighting chance at least.
I just wish that instead of them fighting for the CEO position, let's have a meeting and talk about everyone's strengths. Because not everyone can be a CEO.
Yeah.
But you guys can be in control of certain departments and ultimately all work together to come up with a decision. See, the DiMeras are full of egos.
Yep.
And everybody wants to be in control and in power, but not everyone can be.
Yeah, but then they're all still missing the point because everybody thinks it's all about the business, and at least, you know, for the last few years since Stefano's been gone, yeah, that's has been what it's about. It's been one child and another child fighting for the legacy of the business side of it. Megan at least brought up a good point, is that she has zero interest in just the business side of things. She is out to become her father's full-fledged legacy in all that entails. She's thinking big.
Yeah, but like, girl, you need to sit down.
Yeah, she has some master plan that we, of course, don't know yet.
Yes.
Kristen doesn't know. She needs Kristen. But I feel like she also needs some part of the company, whether it's income, whether it's like a title or role, like whatever. Because I think if she didn't need the company, she would have just easily signed on with either EJ or Stefan. Like that plan, his plan, which as vague as it was, she would have been like, okay, like it gets me to the next level or whatever. But just, yeah, we don't know what it is we know what she wants or what her goal is, but we don't know what her plan is, that she apparently has one.
Yes. But in all aspects, she's being severely underestimated.
Come on, Dolores, with the business. She said that company should have never gone public, should have stayed private in the family. Okay, now you better know it. Patrick has grown tired of the DiMera Titan business stories. He says they are a snooze and Ron needs to recycle these kinds of stories. It happens every year. Well, you know, there's always a fight for the CEO position. Let me ask y'all. Hello, and welcome to the DiMera board shareholders meeting. Who do you all feel is best suited for the CEO position? Justin?
EJ.
Araceli?
I would say EJ, but then I'm actually going to go out in a weird way and say Gabby.
Gabby's a good one.
Only because she actually did, when these two were presumed dead or comatose or whatever, She had a good long run at the helm.
She ran that business. I do feel like Gabby should be in charge of something.
Mm-hmm. She actually does pay attention to the business side of things. And as her report actually does say, and I don't think it was made up, that the EJ probably doesn't give off the best office camaraderie vibes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That was a slip.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard because initially I would say EJ. I think to keep it in the family, EJ, but Gabby should have some sort of something as well.
Give the woman her company back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. And Stefan is definitely a number 2.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like he's still learning the business. That's and I think the other thing is when it comes down to DiMera Enterprises is how everybody like pops in and goes, I should run the company. And I'm like, but what business degree you got?
Yeah. The only one that ever made sense was when they wanted Johnny to learn, and then it was Anna and Tony who were like, well, why don't we give him a division of filmmaking, or what was it? Media arts or something. And I was like, okay, that's something that actually makes sense and fits him. And it's like, I feel like they did it because he's so young, but also like, I mean, when was Chad?
No, it makes sense.
Like Chad was a year older than him when they wanted him to be CEO. So it's like, that can fit anyone. It doesn't have to just go for Johnny because he's the youngest.
Oh yeah, I forget about Chad.
Because Chad, he's the only one not in the house, and thank his lucky stars he is.
Oh no, that house is too crowded for me, honey. Yeah, you know what? I think EJ should be CEO. Chad should be the number 2. Stefan should help out in some way. Gabby should be running a division. I don't think Kristen or Megan would be good yet. I don't think running a company is in their thing. And Tony is like retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But Johnny should run the multimedia division.
But here's the thing. This whole conversation that we're having about practical roles and stuff, this would be very much applicable to Titan. Not because that's the way that Victor and Maggie would want it run, the deal in practicalities. The DiMeras are dealing with insane people, like certifiable villains.
Well, also Victor's still alive, so he's still
yeah, that's true. Practicality plays no role in whatever is happening in the DiMera house right now.
Yeah, I think there's space for everyone to be part of it if everyone would stop wanting to be number 1 or CEO. It's like, there's room for all of you to do whatever it is you want to do.
It really is. And then you guys just come together and work as a family to become even more powerful in Salem. But everyone is so egotistical. Whatever. Anyway, good luck to DiMera Enterprises, honey. And then didn't Dimitri just pop in? Yes, just for 2 seconds?
Yes. To let us know he was
now there. Where he gonna stay?
Ta-ta.
There.
There. Lord, that house just got really crowded.
It really did. It's like in a blink of an eye, and all of a sudden it's like you're running the Starlight House from Jim and the Holograms.
I have to say, I did chuckle when Kristen and Megan were talking with Nicole, and she's like, "You're moving in here," and it was like, and Megan had to check her. Was like, I'm a real, I forget how she phrased it, but like, oh, I'm a DiMera, where else would I be? And it was like, yeah, like you're not the DiMera here, and you and your daughter are occupying 2 rooms. Like,
it's like, if anything,
leave,
you should not even be here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens with DiMera Enterprises, but if I was a resident in Salem, I would hold off on buying anything
Mm.
because there's too many
You can't buy
change in them
DiMera, you can't buy
hands.
Titan, you can't buy Sweet Bits, you can't
You can't do nothing.
invest
You
in the
can't do
Salem Inn.
nothing.
They apparently
I'm about
that and
that's
real estate, I guess.
that's where I'm gonna buy stock in the Salem Inn because business is always booming over there. All right, now we're gonna move on to the age-old question: is it baby DiMera or baby Brady? Mm, 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 mm. Well, here, are we happy that it's just out in the open?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Pleasantly
Yes.
surprised it went this way.
Yes, please let's dispel with the back and forth of, oh, I'm not going to tell him, or I'm only going to tell this person. Oh, then this person found out. No, let's just get it all out. Nobody needs to keep this a secret any longer.
I really like how truthful some characters are. Like Jada is someone that like doesn't withhold the truth. Sloane has been someone that really doesn't withhold the truth, like comes clean. For some reason, that seems so odd to me because I always feel like in Salem, like everybody holds secrets, but
Yeah.
like I'm like, you know what, good. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you said something. And I'm also glad that it's out in the open because the Lord have mercy, Anna can't hold water, honey. She was going through it, having to hold on to that secret.
She's a great support system. She's
Yeah.
a terrible secret keeper.
Yeah.
Which is why she should
Okay.
have her own podcast.
She should. Jean said, "My twist is it's race."
That would be a twist.
Colleen brings up a good point, and I don't know if you guys have been thinking this too.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Salome swabbed her own mouth, and I thought that when she was going to meet Nicole, but then when she told Eric,
Yeah.
I thought, well, maybe he was like, and she just
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to go there until somebody actually says shenanigans are afoot. They're doing their best to be honest.
Yeah, I did think that initially, and then honestly, I kept seeing that a lot. Just going through online, people being like, "Oh, I think that's the twist is that she swabbed her own mouth, and so it wouldn't, even if it is Eric's, it wouldn't come up as Eric's kind of thing." But like you, Tony, the fact that she came clean, and it seems like she wants to be above board in regard to this storyline. I was kind of like, I don't think that's where they're going. I think they're really trying to be straightforward with it.
Yeah, and I also, I mean, Salome, you may call Salome a lot of things, but I think maybe when a baby is involved, I don't think she wants to do that. Oh, thank you, Mick Floyd, for your super chat. Appreciate that. We'll feature you. EJ for the daddy. Hell, I want him to be my daddy, but in a different way. Okay. Listen, let me tell you.
Not just you.
Someone sent me a message that said, wait, did they? Now I'm trying to remember the message. I think it started off with they watched my short film, Kevin. If you haven't watched it, go check it out on my YouTube channel. And then they were like, but did you see Dan Feuergel's shoulders in that sweater? And I was like, I didn't, but I'm going to pay attention. And then I was like, I like the sweater look.
The sweater look is severely underrated.
Yeah.
I likes the sweater look.
Enough with the business suits. Yeah. And for Dylan, it's because if it's Eric's baby and Sloane swaps her own mouth, it won't come up as Eric. Because
but then the DNA will also come up female, so that's kind of weird.
Which people, I don't know if people know that's something that they do now. They do test for gender when you do DNA now. I don't think that was the case before, though. I think that's why people didn't.
Yeah, so I think that would come up. It would be weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does seem like everybody is doing their best to be, honest and upfront.
Have you guys? I know. I think Tony, you asked this last week. Who we think it is?
Yeah.
Now I really feel like it might be EJ's though, because I'm wondering what's the conflict then. If it's Eric's baby, then would that free up Nicole to go to Eric? You're having a baby with him. You can relate your feelings.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the conflict will be if she's having EJ's baby, but maybe goes with Eric. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the conflict will be, because I don't think
No,
they're going to wrap them up in a bow and say, you and Eric are having a baby, happy ever after now.
listen, this is what I also appreciated this week. That when Eric found out, Nicole was basically like, our ship has sailed. You are with Sloan.
Mhm.
I'm with EJ. We're, it's like ain't no us.
Yeah. And by the same token, she told EJ, that was the conclusion that, EJ was going to jump to, and he did. And she reassured him, like, this is like, this is not even something I can think about. I can't think about anything but the next step, which is why, like, I was so proud of Nicole this week in her conversations with both Eric and EJ, and then them together later at the hospital. She was very firm, and with both of them saying, like, for the sake of my health, for the sake of this baby's health, this is what needs to happen. We can't be doing what ifs and scenarios and like, well, like, what if, this, that, the other thing. No, we have to deal with what is.
Yeah.
See, I loved that speech when she said it, but I thought, like, my problem is the elephant in the room is that she still actually has strong feelings for Eric, and she actually is concealing that. And when EJ presses her on that, she doesn't admit it. When Anna presses her on it, she doesn't admit it. So that's the only thing where I'm like, okay, girl, you cannot be asking. And I thought it was a little weird. Usually, I understand asking for everyone to come together while you're finding out the results. But she was saying, I need your support through this pregnancy. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. If they're not the father, why would they be jumping
Because
in and
EJ
you?
loves her.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, that makes more sense than Eric supporting her. That's what I'm saying. She's saying that to both of them.
Well, because Eric also said that he would be her friend no matter what. And, that's, look, regardless of what it is, I feel strongly that Nicole is in a very different place in her life than she was for her last two pregnancies. She has been through that trauma. She now has a daughter of her own, a very healthy, beautiful little girl, thanks to Chloe. So that was a part of her life that is not, it doesn't need to be fulfilled necessarily to the point of where it literally drove her insane. That part of her heart is fulfilled, but it's the terror of losing another child is still there. She's a different woman now.
Well, and there, I mean, like you said, there's that terror and that fear of like, I might be pregnant, but am I going to carry this baby the full term? So there's a lot that's happening, but
It's the fear of wanting to be happy. That's the thing. Whether or not with whoever she wants to be with, whoever's baby she wants it to be. I feel really annoyed with both Anna and Marlena this week, honestly, because it's like, you all want to deal in what if scenarios, and I understand it's coming from a place of love, wanting to see everybody be happy. That's nice, but that's not what's happening right now. Right now, you have a very scared pregnant woman who cannot handle these big emotions and keep herself healthy necessarily at the same time. Please keep her calm.
I know that this show isn't like for realsies, but when I tell you I am praying so hard that it's EJ's baby.
I know. I think it will be. I think that's the conflict.
I just really, and I said this a couple of weeks ago. I know the Eric and Nicole fans really want the end game to be Eric and Nicole, but I just really feel like if they got together, I'd be like,
yeah, great, nice, but
yay. This isn't a couple that like because they've been through so much. They've been through they've been through so many times where they could have been together and then they weren't. And I think the last straw for me was when the one night with Xander happened, and
Yeah.
Eric and Nicole had just got married. He blew up. He got all upset,
Mhm.
and then was like, "I'm going to Africa." And then
Mhm.
he stayed in Africa for years. Now, mind you, on the flip side, we know the real reason why they put
Yeah.
Eric in
Yeah.
Africa. However, it's like, oh
They
no,
could have
wait,
kept them married too.
huh?
He left for Africa first, but then
Yeah,
they
Yes,
could have
when
and
they
then
were
continued.
happily.
yeah, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
but still,
No,
it's
but
just like,
the point remains the same. Yeah.
It doesn't change. No, but and even going back just more recently to when, um, the whole situation with Jada's pregnancy.
Mhm.
And we all
Yeah.
stated our opinions ad nauseum about Nicole's actions there, but it all comes back to the same premise, which is that, Nicole is. I mean, Eric is constantly wanting Nicole to be somebody different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is she a better person than she used to be? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's more mature. She's not pulling stunts, but there's a certain side of her that EG accepts that Eric never will.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, and it to me, it's a Sammy Lucas situation
Yep. Yeah.
where Lucas knows that woman inside and out.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And there's nothing that she'll ever be able to get by him but he accepts her.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm more so for Sammy and Lucas than
Yeah.
Sammy and EJ
Yeah.
for that reason. I mean, even though they both will accept her the same, but there's not a power play that's happening
Yeah.
Mhm.
with Sammy and Lucas as it would be with Sammy and EJ. With EJ and Nicole, I kind of feel like they do complement each other. There is a yin and yang where he accepts her, but she also kind of brings out the softer side of
Yeah.
Sears with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So
And she's one of the few people that can call him out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I think it just works. It
Yeah.
works. So I am hoping and wishing and praying and hoping that this is little baby EJ. And please don't you dare, because I thought this too, and somebody else brought this up in the chat room. Don't you dare give that woman twins and say
Yeah,
they
right.
each got one.
I don't think that's too much. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't Ron, Ryan,
They can't
writers,
do that again. That was a
don't y'all
once in a
do it.
lifetime. Yeah.
Don't y'all do it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Don't y'all do it.
Yeah.
that was a
I will
one-time
say,
thing.
I actually think that we will get a healthy baby out of this, regardless of who the father and where that storyline takes. I do think they are giving Nicole a baby that she will raise on the show. I don't think they will give her another miscarriage or stillborn or anything like that. I think that we're gonna get a baby for Nicole to raise.
Now listen, I'm all for Nicole having a baby, but child, where is Holly?
Hopefully, not spending a
Upstairs.
lot of time in that
She's
now very crowded house.
Because we ain't seen Holly ain't came running in the mommy like she ain't said, oh, I gotta go pick Holly up from school. Like, where is Holly? You about to give her another baby,
They brought,
and we don't even know where Holly at.
well, listen, we're getting a doll, so that solves that. They got to pay for Dimitri and Megan. Kristen's now back full time. Money is tight. Okay.
Child, listen. Anyway, well, all right, y'all. Well, listen. We have just gone over our top three storylines, and just want to give you guys a gentle reminder to please make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. If you're following us already, tell a friend about us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, if you subscribe already, tell a friend about us. Make sure you find us on your favorite podcast station. If you're already listening, again, tell a friend about us. And also make sure you buy our merch. Listen, if you ain't got nothing that shows that you are a Dishin Days fan, then please make sure you get something that says that you are a Dishin Days fan or that you're digmatized by Dishin Days. Right. And also make sure you go visit our lovely friend James Lott Jr. Over on YouTube. If you are a true soap opera fan, he is going to have everything else for you. Here, we just give you days of our lives and then we go on about our business.
Okay, Nick Floyd is killing it. The
What?
comment said Holly is somewhere beating up Rachel, hopefully. Yeah.
Dang. I can't.
Oh, God.
I
All
mean,
right.
maybe.
Well, now, here we go. The ring around the rosies. You get a job, you get a job, and you get a job. Xander, Chloe, Gwen, Alex, everybody. Okay, so here's the thing. Number one, I still don't agree with Maggie firing Alex. I actually think that what he was looking for in that deal was someone who wasn't so traditional.
Yes.
And I think that's where Maggie can allow Alex to shine. Because let's face it, Maggie, do you know anything about the tickety talk of the Instagram, or are you hip to like what the you know what I mean? It's like there's a standard way of doing things, but then there's a way that's a little more progressive to fit in what's happening now.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of glad that Justin went to Maggie and in a very respectful way of being like, yes, he's my son, but this is a family business and you fired the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Justin sort of sticking up for Alex. I thought that was great.
But by the same token, I kind of feel like everybody ended up where they need to for the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because yes, Alex does very well in that position, but there are still some things that he needs to learn.
Yes.
And I feel like he actually would be fantastic in the marketing position that Brady offered him.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a step down, but it's still him basically running the show. It would be more of a partnership with Brady. And, we haven't really seen two men running Basic Black before. So that could be really interesting to see how they play off of each other. And Alex would be a much better team player with Brady than he would with Maggie.
Yeah.
Because Brady has the experience to back up everything that he's running. And it would give Maggie a little more freedom to spread her wings in the position or I hope not, but maybe fall flat on her face and maybe learn a little bit that, oh no, Alex actually was trying to help me out. And maybe I do need a little bit more support in this role.
And that's what it should have been, support. Like I almost kind of feel like, I don't know. I just, when Maggie became CEO, I love Maggie, but I'm like, girl, do you really want to go back to work?
Yeah. Right.
Shouldn't you just be chilling at home with your chopskis and your figurines? Like, that's no shade, but it's just like, at some point, you're just like, I don't want to go work. Like, let Alex do it. Get somebody else to do it.
Sorry.
But with Alex going to Basic Black, I think the difference is that he actually has Brady's support. When Brady was like, it was your idea to hire Eric and Nicole, and like that campaign took off. So it's good to have support and not feel like you're walking on eggshells because you're trying to appease some sort of like old way, you know, of doing things. Not in that saying I want some of Maggie's lemon bars.
I was gonna say I really liked Maggie when they were doing that like Lady Macbeth thing when she was overseeing but dealing with Stefan and Gabby.
Yeah.
Like I like that. I felt like maybe that's where it sparked for them to have the idea to make her CEO. I like that interaction. I think it would be different if she came in as like an overseer or a consultant kind of a thing, as opposed to being like the CEO, the person everything's sort of running through. I think that would have been a different approach to take. Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do with this storyline. I feel like I don't know if what we're feeling is what they're intending. Are they intending us to really dislike Maggie? Are they intending to show that she doesn't have it together? Or are they intending us to feel like Alex is the wrong one? Like, I don't know where the storyline's going.
I feel like all of this is just a long game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
Is this just
another
an excuse
storyline
to
that we
get
know is
Xander
coming.
in there? Like, I don't know. It's all
Is what'd you say,
strange.
Justin?
Is this all an excuse just to get Xander in that position, and then like it ties together a different story? I don't know. It's just all sort of strange how it's unfolding.
It is, but you know, we're just going to be fans with open arms.
Yeah.
Speaking of Xander, I don't see Chloe working at the Salem Spectator.
That I had a little more trouble buying.
Yeah.
I was like, baby, that's not your position, honey. Why don't you just go on back to basic black?
I wonder why they switched it, because remember the job he offered her was the arts, sort of covering the arts, which made sense. That to me made more sense because she owned a restaurant, she's in the music business, like that made more sense. But then they switched it to where, remember when Xander showed up and they had it as the ad guy quit. So it was like, oh,
that was the only reason they had it,
like,
because they had literally the head of the department quit.
Yeah, that's where it kind of went shaky. I was like, no, keep her as the arts reporter or the arts contributor or whatever. Like that made more sense. But yeah.
I mean, we'll see if that works out for her. Who knows? She could rise to the occasion.
I mean, yeah, she could. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that she's duly fitted for. And actually, I kind of like this journey that they're taking Chloe on, because it brings up the good point of how in this day and age, there's still, unfortunately, a really set, there's still kind of in place this set system of, well, you go to, you know, if you want to be in business, you go to business school and you intern here, and then you get all the right positions. Same thing if you want to be a doctor, same thing if you want to be, you know, a chef. You know, it's this idea of there's a linear path to your career. And you stay on that path. But the problem is that life interrupts. And that's not really something that's feasible anymore. And yet people still think that that's okay to be on. And Chloe is the perfect example of, well, life happened to her. You know, she was a great opera star. She had this great gig in Europe, and then the rug got pulled out from under her marriage. And then, she went home, and then life happened.
We know that she's resilient, but like, can we have her be resilient in a job that suits her? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all we asking for.
I think she'll rise.
And they could still have Gwen dislike her in that role. Like it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Like
we don't see, and that's the other thing. We don't need all this unnecessary tension. We just need people to have a job.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of jobs, Lady Whistleblower is old cock blocking Leo. Spilling just all the tea in front of Johnny and Wendy.
Yes.
I mean, to be honest though, I feel like they use that moment to maybe say what the audience might be thinking.
Yeah, I mean, come on, yeah.
To be honest, I mean, at this point, I'm like, Wendy, girl, just go with Trip.
I'm so over the story. Like,
yeah, well, it's because it's dragged out. And it doesn't necessarily need it to be dragged out. Like if the thing that made it turn left was when Trip went to Seattle, and then she went with him, and then it's like, well, you kind of made your decision.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry if I listen, and I'm as single as a Pringle, and I am ready to mingle. Have a comma. If someone that I am interested in and just started kind of seeing, and we ain't went out on the first date yet, told me that their brother is in the hospital and they got to go back home, baby, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not going. What you haven't even taken me out to a dinner yet.
Yeah.
And yet you want me to fall, or you think I'm going? I will text you or call you and be like, "How your brother doing? Y'all all right?"
Yeah.
Okay.
A cross-country flight implies dedication. Implies
very, very much dedication. Like,
also the scales are so unbalanced. Like they're sort of approaching it as if like she's just getting to know both of these men, where I understand she knows Trip a little bit less, but she has so much more experience with Johnny. And it's like it doesn't make sense for her to still be teetering. It's like, okay, you've done these quasi adventures with Johnny. You've been friends with him.
Yeah.
you met Trip once, you spent a good weekend with him at one time, with him and Joey fighting over you, and now he comes back and you're trying to like, it just, I don't know, it's
Yes.
not gelling.
And
It's
unfortunately, it was kind of like Johnny, when Johnny was describing like the movie of Wendy's life, I was hooked. And but then I turn around and I'm like, Johnny, what's the story of your life?
Johnny, go on back to the devil story and
The
get
script,
that
the script
produced.
for his story would be decidedly shorter.
Anyway, I'm team Wendy and Trip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's move on to child. They still hating on Harris.
Why?
I'm just glad Kayla was like, well, I think everyone could use help watching
Yeah,
her.
we
I'm
need the
like,
help.
thank you. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't want this ongoing thing of Steve being like, Commander Harris,
Not Steve, not the Steve
here you go
impression.
again. What are you doing here? We have plenty of people to be. It's like,
Like after he saved Kate and saved Steve too on that ship, it was like it's
Yeah.
like okay, enough's enough. Like
yes,
you can begrudgingly accept him now. Like come on.
it's like we know he has roots there. Like he explained that. It's like let the man just come to Salem and like figure out life in Salem.
Yes, let
And
the man live.
it's funny with Steve too. Remember, he was what's the name's mercenary. Like that's how he started out. So very similar. You would think he would stop and be like, you know what? I had sort of the same trajectory you had, maybe even worse than you. And like, okay, here I am now. Here's what my life has become. I don't know. I feel like they could have made that parallel and had Steve sort of come around to him. I thought would have made more sense than him still hating on him.
At some point, like he's in Salem.
Yeah.
Add him to Black Patch and like be done.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of detectives, Bonnie Kiriakis PI was on the case.
Yay!
Hello again, Sarah Horton.
Yes.
Hello again, pregnant Sarah Horton.
Yes.
Here's the issue that I kind of have. Sarah is all about the truth and like, you know, people being honest and everything
Right.
like that. But Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't being honest, girl.
Mm-mm.
You not being honest. And I'm glad Bonnie was like, whatever it is y'all selling,
Yeah.
baby, I ain't buying.
I like that they had her be smart there and not fall for something silly. I mean, I guess you can kind of fall for it if it was someone else, but I'm glad they had Bonnie stick to her guns. And I actually was surprised that it wasn't Sarah living there with Rex together. I'm glad that they established like, no, she has her own place. They're still not together. They're not like joining forces to like put on a charade about the baby too.
I was so relieved.
So I actually really like that.
Yeah. But then I hope that Bonnie kind of like starts gently nudging Sarah. It's like, honey, one, you can't keep this as a secret forever. Eventually, if you don't want to tell anyone, you're going to have to tell your mother. Yeah. And then, you know, A leads to B, leads to C, leads to X, leads to Xander. You know, there's just no realistic way of hiding this.
I'm just trying to figure out how she thought she was going to hide a whole baby.
Yeah, we really didn't get her perspective on like, because she left to sort of figure things out, and now it's like, okay, well, have you figured it out yet? Like we know you're not pretending to be with Rex. You're not telling Maggie you're pregnant with Rex's baby. So what did you figure out here?
But you know what? I would have been fine if she was like, no, Bonnie, no, I took a test and it's actually Rex's baby. And no, we're not together. I'm going to raise this baby on my own. Mm-hmm. Okay. But now I'm like, okay, well, since y'all didn't do it that way, which way we going?
Yeah.
What we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
And this is now the second baby that she's not fudging paternity, but being sneaky about, I guess. So it's like now this is the second child.
Because the last one, Xander had to pretend that it wasn't Eric's. Wait, it was Eric, right?
Yeah, it was Eric's, yeah.
Eric done had so many babies. Oh my God, I just realized that. Poor Eric done had so many children. Eric.
So has
Oh.
EJ.
They're sort of match, yeah. They're
Yeah.
2 and 2, yeah.
Maybe that's why this is the whole build up with baby Nicole. Okay, kudos days. But let's
I
make
do
sure
have to
it's
say
EJ's.
one little nitpick that bothers me. So when they're like, Eric, you've always wanted a family. I'm like, he was a priest for many years. Like, no, he didn't want a family. He was a priest for many, many years, and
This
even
is
went back to
true.
being a priest. Like he
Mhm.
didn't want a family all this time. Like he can want one now, which is fine, but you don't need to
Mhm.
like hammer home that he always wanted children and always wanted a family. Like, no, he didn't.
Well, it adds to us feeling some kind of way and hoping that it is Eric's baby, but
Yeah.
not on my watch. That better be EJ's. Or
Okay.
days I'm coming after you. Shout out to the 158 people who are watching us live. I really appreciate
Yay.
that. I always appreciate like a high number because when it's just us and it's not a guest, it's like, you like us. You really like us. So tell a friend. Because you know what? I would like to see 160 people with us weekly and then 200 people. And then
You're right, Megan.
from here on out, I would like to say something. I will no longer be Tony Moore. I now reclaim myself as Tony DiMera.
Yeah.
Scratch that. I will no longer be Tony DiMera. I am now Terrence DiMera.
I can't. Oh God, Tony.
And that was your week of days, everybody. So now we are
Grateful
going.
y'all are still with us.
Yeah, they are, although we lost 3 people. We are now going to go into our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
All right, so listen. I had to give my 3 Snaps Award to somebody that did not fall off the turnip truck yesterday, that was not born yesterday, and she ain't buying what ain't nobody selling. P.I. Miss Bonnie Kiriakis, honey. She looked at Sarah and said, listen, boo, I see a pregnant, I know a pregnant girl when I see one. I also can tell that that baby ain't Rex and that baby is Xander's. And you ain't finna sit here and feed me no other story otherwise. Who do you think I am? Do you remember who I am? I am Bonnie Kiriakis, formerly Bonnie Lockhart. And you can't pull no wool over my eyes. And for that, Bonnie Kiriakis, Judy Evans gets Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
Yes.
Also, I just want to give a little shout out to Leo. You get a little snap too. All right. And now we don't have a caption that this week because Michael Mattis is not here, but it's time for
Those were the days.
All right, everyone, take you back to May 29, 2003, where not only was Theo Carver born, but when Abe became a father twice, because not only was Theo born by Lexi, of course, but Brandon, who was a thorn in Abe's side, revealed to him while Lexi is screaming in pain that he is his father and that he is actually already a father and not becoming one that day with Theo's birth. But I love the story. It was so chaotic and so crazy. Then there was an issue with paternity that was really a setup by Lexi and Tony, which to me is still one of the greatest setups that Days has ever done, and not letting the audience know and letting it be a total surprise that Lexi and Tony were putting one over on Sammy and making her think that Brandon was the dad of Theo, where it was Abe all along. But yeah, that was May 29, 2003, when Theo Carver was born, and Abe became a father twice, with Brandon's paternity being revealed.
a baby daddy in one day.
Yeah.
with two folks.
I know.
Sounds like Maury
20
Povich.
years apart.
Right. But that was just...
Those were the days.
And just when you think we've had enough fun, it is now time for It's a Gift.
And this week's It's a Gift goes to the DiMera sisters. And if looks could kill.
Ooh.
Talk about I ain't buying what you selling.
It is very much like a child. Do they really think? I know they.
That look right there should have told Stefan he's in trouble.
It's very much like, Stefan, you in danger, girl.
This is the look that sends people running from the house, or should.
Okay. And that was It's a Gift. And now it's time for News and Gossip.
Yeah, starting off, we're going to just send positive energy and some well wishes to Tyler Christopher, who has been sort of open and honest about his struggles with addiction and alcoholism specifically. But this past weekend, he was arrested at Burbank Airport for public intoxication. The good spin on this is that he wasn't a danger to anyone else. He doesn't seem to be a danger to himself. He was just sort of passed out, intoxicated. But yeah, hopefully he is back on the wagon and getting some help. We just want to send best wishes. He's just a really good actor. I know his time on Days was short-lived, but many of you may know him from General Hospital, where he spent many years just being great. And he's a really good actor. And yeah, just some well wishes and best wishes headed his way to sort of get back on track with his sobriety. So
yeah, if you need a hug, Tyler, you call me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And if you need help, go to a meeting. Never be afraid to reach out for support.
Yeah.
Anytime you need a friend, I will be here.
And okay. Best wishes to Tyler. Best wishes to Tyler.
Best wishes to Tyler. What's next?
Next is, if we can get to it, the Casey Diedrich, also known as ex-Chad DiMera, the first Chad DiMera, is starring in a new Hallmark movie called Wedding Season, which premiered last night. This movie kicks off the Hallmark Channel's June Weddings, a month of programming. Look to your local stations for reruns on Hallmark and Peacocks. Check your local listings.
You know, when you labeled this Casey Wedding, I was like, now when did he announce that he was getting
You thought
married?
it was like Casey getting married.
I was a little concerned. I was like, now listen, this just went from news to just plain old gossip.
It is wedding season, Tony.
Yeah. Got it. I got it now.
Yeah.
I got it now.
All
right.
And Hallmark is on the bandwagon.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have our Days Celeb events coming up that we've been telling you about. Go get your tickets. First up, we have the Eric Martzoff Rick Springfield one that's taking place in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, October 5th through 9th. All tickets go to rickspringfieldgetaway.com. Next up, we have the Starstruck Oktoberfest. Again, Michael Madison's favorite. That one is taking place in Orlando, Florida, October 21st through 22nd. We have the Party in Vegas one that is taking place August 19th. I'm sorry, the previous one, go to starstruckfanevents.com for tickets and information. The Party in Vegas one, you can check out Brian DeTillo and Stacey Hyduke's Instagram pages for more information on that one. And we have the, last but not least, the Samantha and Friends ones. This one is called The Invasion of the Minions, taking place September 9th through 10th that weekend. And all tickets and information, please go to samanthafriends.org, samanthafriends.org for that one.
Y'all, make sure if you want to meet your favorites, please go to these events. This is the other way besides Day of Days. This is another way for you to meet them. And with these events, you probably can spend a little bit more time with them. So make sure you go check it out. If it's within driving distance, drive.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Oh, and with that, I know we don't have a graphic for it, but I did see a lot of people making the rounds this weekend because the day players are on tour. So shout out to the day players. Go to their pages, their socials for info on upcoming tour dates. They put on a really good show. So I hope that all the people who went to last night's show had a very good time.
Oh yeah, I saw the boys from Aaron.
Yep.
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah,
Yep.
Aaron.
Aaron and Tommy. Yep.
Aaron and Tommy. Yes, they went. Was trying to see if I could find their schedule. Today they are in Dallas, Texas,
Yeah.
at the Addison Improv. So if you haven't missed that, then make sure you head over to the Addison Improv if you're in Dallas. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
What's
good time.
next?
Next up, if you didn't get a chance to catch this, it's currently up on the Michael Fairman's YouTube channel. He did an interview with Miranda, Colton, and Peter about their upcoming storylines, their time on Beyond Salem 1 and 2. Days is the 50th inspiring storyline?
No, I put that because one of the things they talked about is how the Day's 50th anniversary celebration inspired
yes.
the storyline that we're seeing now, and it took them almost 10 years to bring it to
yes. Yeah. So I've seen little snippets here and there of the clip. I'm looking forward to watching the whole thing. So if you, like me, have not gotten a chance to listen to the whole thing, please go to Michael Fairman's YouTube channel to go and watch that interview. These are really great people. I mean, I know Miranda Wilson has been, she is technically a Days vet, but she's new to so many people. And as we've discussed, Peter and Colton are gems. We've been so lucky to have them on the main show this year. So I'm just so looking forward to what happens next.
Yeah, it's a really good interview. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. So if you're into that sort of thing, they do get into that a lot. So go check it out.
And last but not least, because some people forgot, we are giving you the Dishin Days Awards live on Friday, June 16th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes, it will be in place of the Daytime Emmys, which are currently postponed, but why not have an award show anyway? So make sure you tune in live to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dishin Days, so that we can show you the winners of the fan-voted Dishin Days Awards. So if you haven't already, this is a good time to subscribe to our YouTube channel and mark your calendars, because this year the Dishin Days Awards goes live and you don't want to miss it. Friday, June 16th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Standard. I said specific.
Yes. Pacific Standard Time.
That is
8:30 Eastern Time.
That is the Southerner in me. All right, you guys, and now it is time to find out what is coming up on this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives.
I hate that I'm attracted to you.
Give in to what your heart desires.
You could have anyone you want.
The only person that I want is you.
I don't know which one of you is the father.
Well, what does it say?
You and I are gonna have it out. Once and for all. You think that Rhett loves you?
Days of Our Lives, streaming now on Peacock.
Y'all, it's the last bit for me. It's Abe sitting there watching his stories, honey.
Oh my God, the 80s hair!
I can't. I cannot. If anyone is watching that is in control of the Days YouTube channel, please plan to put an extended version
Oh yes, yeah.
of that scene.
Yep.
on the YouTube channel, please, for us, please.
Yeah.
I think that is just so classic. Just to see,
Love it. Too funny.
just watching the stories
Mhm.
at Nurse Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff's house.
I
I love
need
it.
some kind of party. Now I know I need some kind of party because people were right. The like in costume, Kayla and Marlena look like they have not aged a day since the 80s. Like maybe a little bit, but like they look good in those outfits. And now I'm like, I need an 80s throwback party.
Yeah.
I need it. I want
An
it.
80s soap party. That would have been.
Yes.
I think if I like for Halloween, I've always wanted to do the male version of female characters. I think I'm going to add Dominique Devereux
Oh, that's a good
to
one.
my just get like a nice fit gray suit with a
Mhm.
shawl of some sort and say,
Mhm.
I specifically asked for a junior suite. I do not sleep in my clothes, nor do I sleep with them. And this champagne is burned.
I thought you were going to be Ursula this year.
Oh, I thought about that too. I thought about Cher, the male version of Cher, and
Okay.
the male version of Ursula. And I actually know someone who could probably do my makeup for Ursula because he just did it on him. So
Nice.
so yeah. But that's it, y'all. That has been the week of Days of Our Lives, and that has been our show, Dishin Days. Before we head out, though, and y'all pretty please make sure you do this. Justin Lee Hareld.
Yes.
The lonely social media world you live.
Mhm.
What's the one singular sensation can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And joining the multi-platform circle of life, Araceli, where can they find you in the multiple places on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tia323Araceli.
She's resistant but resilient, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You guys can also find Michael Mattis on Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattis. You can find Little Old Chocolate Me on all social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Lounging with Tony. And of course, you guys can follow us, our lovely show, Dishin Days, right here on Facebook, Dishin Days Show, and Dishin Days on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another wonderful show, if I say so myself, where we're giving you a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's Days of Our Lives. And until then, we will be back next Sunday to do it all over again. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, have a happy Sunday, have a wonderful week, and most importantly, happy Pride, and always remember to love, accept, and respect everyone. Bye, everybody.
Bye.